Hi everybody, it's Amy at Crafty Cat. So I have a complete hodgepodge of things that we're going to do today, and sorry I've got paint and stuff on my board. I was collaging all weekend, well not all weekend because we had Christmas parties and stuff, but when I could. This is my daughter's journal from Melody. This is the one that I purchased from Melody's shop, and I gave it to my daughter to do December daily. And I'm behind on mine, and I don't know when I'm going to get to catch up, but I will work on that. So anyway, this is what she's done. She didn't do anything here, but you can see she did a picture of our Christmas tree. She's much more optimistic than I am and doesn't put the bad stuff. She just puts the good stuff. So, and then the next day she just talked about stuff. So this is like, I want to give you a good idea of, you know, what you can do. She doesn't really know what she's doing either, and she just does, you know, talks about what she did that day. She's added, like, that's that same picture that I showed you that I added. She likes to write. This is her and one of her really good friends at school, and I probably shouldn't show that because I just realized I don't have the friend's consent, and that's her friend again, but she's got a thing over her head. So, you know, mostly Aiden has written in here, and then there's like Christmas cards that her friends gave her and just things like that. So that's really what she's done with it so far. So I just wanted you guys to see that because, you know, a lot of people think, oh, I don't know what to do or whatever, and even if you don't have a lot going on, because, I mean, she kind of does, but she mostly just writes about her friends and, you know, all that kind of stuff. So, anyway, I just wanted to show you because Melody kind of wanted to see that, so I thought it would be fun to just show it really quick, and I haven't gotten really any further in mine. I did add a card from Nan. Let me see. I'll show you. She made me a beautiful card. I can find where I put it. Oh, I added this little rub-on because I just thought it was cute. I've always loved that. I've had it for years and years and years, and I've never wanted to use it because I love it so much, so I just put it in my own journal. This is the beautiful card that Nan made for me, so I put that in there. And I don't think I've done anything else because that was our wax seal that we did the other day, the pictures of the kids. Yeah, that's as far as I've gotten. So I just haven't had time. It's been crazy, hectic, loony. And then, of course, this weekend I decided I was going to do a new digital download, which I'm also going to show you. This this video is mostly for a design team project for Wondubar Crafts for Denise, and but I just want to show you a couple of things real quick before I got started. So this is my new Digi, and like I said, I just kind of went cuckoo collaging. Sorry, I've got weird sun coming in, and I've tried to block it, but it just really doesn't want to block. But anyway. So it's just all kind of wintry collage sort of pieces that are on this. And I've added some images. This one I accidentally printed on thicker paper. See, this is really hard because the light's so weird. But there's a pretty like Victorian lady here, and these ladies look to be a little bit more closer to like probably 1910-ish. But they're holding the little muffs, you know, that go over their hands. And music paper, there's just all kinds of collaging on these, because I was painting and collaging and just doing all kinds of stuff. So anyway, this lady's funny. She's got her skis on, her ski poles. This is her body right here, and her head's up here. And you can see her legs are all spread apart skiing. That's kind of the way I ski. And then this guy is funny. He's got a pillow on his bum for ice skating. So that was kind of fun to put on there. And then these three little boys are just so adorable in this picture. They're ice skating like out on a lake or something, and there's some journaling space there, and then just like I said, all kinds of collage. And really what I did with these pages is I went over them with white and gold and stuff like that, and in this way I think you can really write all over this because there's really not any dark spots. And I used like some really old pieces of paper. Packaging, it was actually from an old embroidery pattern, and the packaging was just super like crinkly and just old, you know, and so you can see all the wrinkles in it and lines in it and stuff like that. So that's really cool, and you'll be able to see it better in person. It's kind of hard, especially with my weird light, but see, you can, this is that same piece as the last one. It just doesn't have the picture of the boys, and I like to do some of those so that you can put them on the backs of other ones to journal. And this is like a whole snowflake frame around here. It's very subtle, so I think you can pretty much write on most parts of this. I mean, like obviously you might not want to write on the birds and this lady blowing in the wind, but She's got her hat and everything's just blowing. So it's just all wintry, icy. So there's pieces of book page, pieces of music, pieces of, you know, just type, just all kinds of stuff. This is an old, it almost looked like a postage stamp. Oh, it says US postage 5 cents. But I just put the little picture of the baby in there. I cut her out and put her there. I loved the blue and the 5 cents, and there's like doily and old stamps. And this is like a sketch of some kind of plant. And these little kids with a big huge snowball. And then just journaling space with lines. So probably see them better when they're down here, although I'd like to move them closer. Maybe if I, duh, Amy, you could go like this. Sorry. All right, sometimes the obvious escapes me. So there's some people ice skating. There's, you know, music, scale. There's graph paper over here. There's book page. This picture of this lady, she's got skis on her feet, and then just like a big long wooden pole, and she's all dressed in like fur, you know, and a white dress and a white hat. And there's a doily. And just, the pages are all like wrinkly and stuff from adding the paint. This is old, like medieval manuscript stuff. And then this one has the doily and the lady with the ice skates. And this is like a snow scene and a horse-drawn sleigh. And just all kinds of random things that I just collaged all over and then painted. And then this one has an old, like, snowy postcard image. Oops, sorry. Forgot I'm closer now. I can pull it back down here. And then there's music paper, more of that medieval like manuscript, a whole line of Benjamin Franklin stamps in blue. This is more like illuminated text or whatever, they illuminated manuscripts. This is just like a wintry scene. There's a little bridge right here that's kind of hard to see, but music paper, ledger. There's more ledger under this picture. So yeah, but I totally think you could write all the way down this and it wouldn't disturb your writing at all. I added just these old doilies. These are actually like tatting or something. It's so tiny stitch on these. I don't even really know, to be honest with you, because I don't do any of that. But they're just on old like book page paper or coffee dyed paper. Not old, but coffee dyed paper. And then this is those old tatting squares that I have that were finished. I had a whole bunch that weren't finished, but these ones were finished, and so I just scanned them and printed them out. Thought they'd be fun to add like a layer or whatever. And then I also added, I'm going to back up just a little so oopsie, so you can see the whole thing. There's just all different like wintry type scenes. That's the girl with the skates. This one is a bunch of like Victorian ladies out on the ice with their skates on. She's sitting in a chair. And then that postcard, the 3 little boys there, the lady on the skis, and that man with the pillow on his bum going ice skating. So that, you get a whole sheet with that stuff on there. And then, oh, there's another one of those sheets of just pictures before we get to the tags and that. But there's that pretty lady, Victorian lady, and she doesn't have the snow all over her because I didn't add the snow to these. And then this is just a cool ice skating image. This isn't in the Digi, so it's kind of fun to add to a journal. This one's not in the Digi either. This is a ski, like, it's a magazine called Truth, but it's a, you know, ski picture on there. And then these are the old, like, postage stamps. This is periodical newspapers, $6. And then this little bird print. That's the same one that's on the, I think it's the same one. It might not be, because I had 2. I can't remember which one I used on here. It's funny how you do that. Oh, yeah, it is the same one. Same bird picture. Alright, and then this is a pocket, so the sides fold back, and then a tag that fits inside of here. And then there's a little bit smaller tag and an even smaller tag, and then these are tickets. So, and that's how, like the ladies on the skis. and the boys. And then these are super tiny, but there's the man with the pillow, there's that snowy postcard, and then that's the birds on the tickets. And then these tickets have the windblown lady, the baby, and then this is just like a picture image of the stamps with the snow all over them. And then this is the large tag, this is another pocket, and then another tag with the man with the pillow and the lady with the ice skates. So yeah, so those are all in the new Digi. It's 16 pages, so I just wanted to get that out of the way so that we could move on. And so, do any of you have these? Because I was cleaning out all my junk and I have way too many of these paper pumpkin boxes. So if you do have these boxes or something similar, and I'm sure somebody else has thought of this too, but anyway, if you just unfold them, these sides just kind of pop out. I was cleaning everything out and I was getting rid of these boxes, so I was flattening them so I could put them in our recycle bin, and then I was like, hey, wait. Journal covers. I think these would make awesome journal covers. So what I did is I cut all the sides and junk off so that I just have that smaller piece, which, you know, like was the back part of the box. But that would be my spine, and then you can cut them to whatever size that you want. Oops, I'm not even showing you size you want to use, but nice spine. See? Paper pumpkin. So if you have paper pumpkin boxes, I think that is a great way to use them, because I already have the nice spine that is about 1.5 inches. Yeah, 1.5 inches wide. So 1.5 inches wide spine, and then you can cut them, like I cut this one down to more of like a, what is this? 4 by 5.5, 4 by 5.5 size, because I was specifically using Denise's Winter's Whisper paper, her Digi, to make a mini. I just want to do a mini. I'm kind of hooked on the minis. I don't know what's going on with that, but anyway. But you could totally, of course, keep it this larger size, and it's a great size. So like, if you keep it at its normal box size roughly, it's almost 6.5 by 9.25. So I mean, you can cut it to wherever you like, but I just thought they're really good. And they're a good thickness. They're thick, but they're not so thick that it just feels like this big old beast. It's a little thicker than a cereal box would be, but not a whole lot. So it's very similar to doing a cereal box. And then I did try to peel off all of that, but I think most of us would end up covering it anyway. You could also just kind of like paint over it if you wanted to. But I think what I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to add fabric. So I thought we could play with this a little bit, the cover. And oh, I want to show you Denise's Digi first. So this is her Winter's Whisper. And so this is one of the pages. Really pretty birds and a little girl feeding bunnies, which is super cute. And little girls with some holly and birds under an umbrella. And so she did show this on her channel as well. So bear with me if you've already seen it. It's beautiful. This is a gorgeous page. It says holly berries here, and just really icy blue color with bows and roses, and it's a beautiful kind of background. And then this one has like the Acme soap, the birds under an umbrella, and that one's a little different than the one. Yeah, these two are a little bit different from each other, so it's not the same one. And then a nest and some holly and a writing space, so you know when you fold it, you have journaling spot here and a journaling spot on the back, which is very nice. And then these lovely ladies, like mirror imaged, except this side that you would probably have on the front has the roses down the side, and you could write here very easily. And then here's another one with, you know, holly and mistletoe and lined paper and holly. And there's sleigh pictures in the background. She was meaning this to be more of a wintry, not necessarily Christmas, but you definitely could use some of these images for Christmas. She's got a big badge of holly, some holly in her hat, and this little girl has a muff and a bow on the top of her hat. So, let's see it. But yeah, that one's very pretty. And then this is almost a pinky purpley type color. There's some Christmas bulbs, some roses and lilies, or calla lilies, and some deer all over this, and like a little journaling spot right there. And then this has the bird with the crown and the holly, some bunches of flowers, a nice little wintry scene with a bridge there, some holly, a place to write, another place to write here. And then this is a good background page with snowflakes all over it, and writing, text, script. And then this one's a good wintry, icy feel with the birds, kids throwing snowballs, mostly the brother throwing them at the sister. That sounds familiar. Oh, a horse-drawn sleigh there and some writing space. And this one's very pretty. It's, again, very icy with some music and stars and, do I have it upside down? Yeah, I think I had it upside down, sorry. and like lyrics to music there, so very pretty. And this one has some music, holly, and a nice wintry scene, kind of looks like snow just falling and twinkling down on a very wintry wood or something there. And then there's a whole page of tags with the images on them. And it says Winter's Whisper there, and the Wondubar Crafts. So that's, oopsie, sorry. That's Denise, and I will link her, so. And then there's an envelope and a couple of flags, a couple of these kind of tickets, and a large tag, some borders, flags, a few stamps, which those are nice to have, some circles, tags, stamps, and some tabs. So a really nice kit all together. So I just miniaturized mine. I printed it at 5x7. So this is the way it comes out on my printer. I know everybody's printer is different, so you just have to kind of play with it and figure out what works for you. But yeah, so 5x7 is what I printed, and then I got this size of pages. And some of them I got a chance last night to kind of ink and back, and that's that stamp that I got from In Love Arts shop. So yeah, I just did that, and I've kind of done some stuff in the signatures, but they're not ready yet. But I thought we could play with this and see if we can kind of get it covered. And what I thought I wanted to do is put some batting on here. And this is all a process video, so if you have something else you're working on, and I need a drink of water, I'm sorry. I'm having one of those days where I've kind of been running around like a chicken with my head cut off trying to get stuff done. Because we're getting down to the wire with the Christmas thing, as y'all know. Oh, I guess I can back this all the way out now. Why do I always back it in? I don't know. Sorry. You guys are going to be ill from zooming in and out. So I like to put a little batting, and you've seen this if you watched me do the boho journal that I ended up having to take down, but I have done this. So some of you may have seen this. If you haven't, I'm doing it again. So I just like, when I'm going to do a fabric journal, and this is not at all something that you have to do, but I just like to do it, I like to add some batting to the front just to give it a softer feel. And you can just do a total all fabric and no hard center as well, and that works. But I kind of like the rigidness of the hard center and just a little bit of softness from the batting. But it's all personal preference. None of it is like anything that you have to do. You can do it your way. Maybe if my scissors will cut this. And it doesn't have to be 100% straight because it's just an undercoating, you know, just something to kind of soften it a little bit so it doesn't feel so hard. So as you can see, I went way wonky on the cut there. So I'm just going to take a little bit of this off. Okay, and see, like I said, it's not going to cover 100% of it, but it's fine, and once you get it flattened out, it'll be good. So, let's use some of this fabric glue, even though I loathe it. I hope you all had a wonderful weekend. We had a very nice weekend. It was kind of crazy. I feel like I didn't really have a weekend because we started off Friday right after work, Christmas parties. We kind of had Christmas parties all weekend long. So, I mean, they were fun. It was fun to see everybody, but it's just always a little bit hectic this time of the year when you got other stuff that you kind of want to get done and you don't get a chance to because you're, you know, doing other stuff. But anyway, it's fine. But we went and saw some friends that my husband grew up with. He's still really good friends with all the guys that he grew up with, which is really awesome. And so we end up, you know, all of us kind of wives and everybody all hanging out. And it's just fun to see everybody. I've known those guys since high school, because my husband and I have been together since high school, so you know, they're kind of like good friends of mine too, just because I've known them all for so long. I grew up in a different place, but my husband would go to visit his dad, and that's how we met. He ended up coming to my high school for his last year of high school. So we've been together for a long time. Sometimes it doesn't seem like it at all. Like sometimes it seems not that long, and you know, it's kind of funny how that works. I mean, I guess that's good. It's better than saying, oh my gosh, it's just been forever. So it's nice. And then I got this lovely damask fabric from Samantha. Thank you, Samantha. And I did not coffee stain this because I was going to. I cut it off with the intent of coffee staining it. But then I was like, ooh, I'm going to do a winter journal. I think I'm going to kind of leave it just white. Just so that, you know, it's wintry. So, oh my wow. I mean, I love the fraying, but sometimes those strings are a little much. So I'm not totally sure, but I think I'm just going to kind of try to get it as centered as possible. I'm not going to put really glue on here. I'm going to put it on this other side because I don't, you know, I don't like that when the glue comes through the fabric, so I try to avoid it if possible. Some things you kind of have to glue, but so I think I'm going to kind of cut the corners off, miter them a little anyway, so hopefully we can get a decent fold on them. So I'm going to kind of just, it's hard to do with this on here. That kind of a thing, if that makes any sense, so that when it comes down and this comes over, I still kind of want to get that corner covered. So I'm coming towards the corner and then kind of just going away like that. Let's see. What, Pasha? You haven't come and visited me in ages while I've been doing this. He's feeling so much better. Just a happy cat now, huh? Still kind of a mess. He needs a bath and everything, but it's cold, and so I can't really give him a bath because getting him dry is the problem, and him not getting sick, which I don't want to make him sick after all that stuff that he already went through. I usually try to give him, you know, baths when it's at least 70 degrees outside, and it's 24 today, so that's not a good time for him to have a bath. So I think I might try to do this long side first. And I probably don't need all this fraying on here, just because it's going to add, you know, not really bulk necessarily, but you'll be able to see it through whatever I put on there. Because we'll end up covering this with something else as well. And you could just do this with paper. I've totally done, you know, things like this with just paper, so that works too if you don't have fabric or you just don't want to deal with that. You just got to take a minute and kind of try to get it as straight as possible. Oh, I do not like fabric glue. Drives me nuts. It's kind of like my daughter with cotton balls. She just freaks with cotton balls. I'm not quite that bad, but. And so my son's favorite thing to do is, like, one time when they were younger, he hasn't done this in a while, he's older now, but he put cotton balls under her pillow one night. It was actually during the day, so when she got into bed that night and she, you know, tried to get all comfortable and like put her hand under her pillow, there were cotton balls under there, and of course she freaked out because that's what kids do when their siblings do things like that to them. So yeah. I'm sure we've all had siblings do such things, or know of siblings doing such things anyway. It's super fun to do that to your sibling. I always told her, and she's gotten much better, and so obviously he's gotten much better, but the less you freak out about it, the less he's going to do it, because it loses its fun, you know. The more you squeal and scream, the more he's going to do it. And it took her years to like figure that out, but she finally did, and was like, oh, that does work. He doesn't really care anymore. It's like, yeah, because it's no fun. Well, I mean, he grew up too, that helps, but there is a lot to that whole squealing and screaming thing. It makes it loads of fun. I don't like the way that corner's coming out. Yeah, I don't like that. So let me see here. I think I need to come just a little bit. Take a little bit more of that off. It's always the tricky part, is how to make it look right, because you don't want it to be weird looking. I don't know if that really did it or not. I think these need to come in a little more. I could be doing this totally wrong, like I am not a, you know, a book cover. I mean, I've done some journals, but I could be making someone crazy that really knows what to do. Try to smooth that out a little more. Yeah, that looks a little bit better. This one seems a little weird still. It's really kind of about getting it tight enough too. So yeah, like I said, I hope you guys had a really nice weekend. Just getting down to the crunch. Are you guys all ready for Christmas? I don't feel like I am. I mean, I kind of think I am, but I feel sort of unprepared at the same time, so. But I think I kind of always feel that way. I always feel like I'm forgetting stuff. I think that's just my worry-wartedness coming out. It likes to rear its ugly head quite frequently this time of the year. Of all the things to inherit, I had to inherit that, right? And of course I gave it to my kids too, because I'm nice and I share. Yeah. Some things you'd rather not share. and that would be one. Sorry, I get quiet when I do these things where I have to like concentrate. I don't have a whole lot of stories either, just lots of Christmas parties, which I'm sure we all know. One of them was for my husband's work. I actually ended up leaving and coming back later to help clean up. I'm so horrible. I'm just horrible at socializing. I don't know. It's just not my thing. Not my thing. I can do it for a while, but then I kind of start to get anxiety and it's kind of ick. So, anyway. We had the Christmas party right over by our house. There's like a place you can rent, and so I just came home for an hour or so and then went back. Okay, I'm gonna go wash my hands and then I'll be right back. Okay, hi, I'm back. So I'm gonna put this away, and then I've got little fuzzies all over this, so I'll probably vacuum it off or something. But what I was gonna do is, and I haven't totally decided, I might put a piece of lace under here as well because it's almost not quite the width, and I want to make sure that it comes over, so I might stitch it onto another piece of something that'll come out here a little further. This is a piece of Denise at Wondubar Crafts, one of her snippet rolls that she sent me, and I still have some of it, and so this piece is just really good for this particular journal with the poinsettia there and stuff. So I'm going to do something like this, but I think I'm going to add another piece, and I haven't totally decided on that. So I think we'll wait, and plus I want to sew in the signatures. I may do a floating spine, but I haven't totally decided. But at least, see, that's what you can do with a paper pumpkin box. I think that's a great thing to do with those, because I'm sick and tired of them being all over my house, or, you know, not my house, but my craft area. So I got those cleaned out, and that was really nice. So I want to back some more of these, and I had an idea which I've seen somewhere, and I'm going to apologize right now if you're the one that did this. Please mention it in the comments below, but I saw this somewhere, and I can't remember where. Have you ever had those like nights when you're just sort of flipping through stuff on YouTube and whatever, and you're not really totally paying attention to who's doing what? Yeah, it was that kind of a thing, and it was a while ago, so it wasn't even like something fresh that I can go look back up or something. So sorry, I'm just thirsty today. Anyway, she took little bits of paper and just kind of glued them here and there, kind of like they were coming through the page, that kind of thing, just so you could still write on there if you wanted to, and I just thought that might be kind of fun. So I want to see if there's anything on here that would remotely pertain to anything. Probably not, so I guess it doesn't really matter. Let me see if there's anything further in. This is just a Reader's Digest, and I mean, it doesn't have to be anything that says anything. It would just be kind of cool if it did. I don't know, I'm just going to start taking out some words. I don't really care, because it doesn't have to be anything. You could do the same with music paper, and this is kind of what got me going with my Digi the other day. So I don't even need all of that. Just going to kind of put a piece here and there, and then do some inking and stuff so that you can still use the page, but it just kind of makes it look old, you know, like just some interest, something interesting. So we've just got this week, and then we're off for Christmas break. Hallelujah. I am so ready. I cannot even tell you. I think this is probably going to be my last year teaching. I can't do it anymore. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'll find something. These are all like summer, it's like swimming, and I'm like, I mean, it doesn't matter, but I'm just don't really want. This was like a winter time one too. You'd think you'd have something a little bit wintry. Put this one over here. Like I said, it really doesn't matter. And again, I can't remember where I got this idea, so I do apologize for that. It's just one of those things. And I think I'll use some of this. Piece on my finger stuck. So let me know, guys. I want to know, like, if you do anything cool or different for Christmas, like, you know, something, or your holiday, what kind of things you do. I just like it's fun to hear. I like to hear all that. You know, it's kind of like asking you guys what you ate at Thanksgiving time and stuff like that. It's just fun to hear what other people do. We'll go over to my husband's family's house, and then on Christmas Eve, and then everybody comes over here at Christmas. So that'll be fun. So yeah, you'd think I'd have loads of stories, but I really don't. Except I have to go to the dentist today. I think I was getting my teeth cleaned anyway today, but I think I've got an abscessed tooth in a root canal that I've had for years and years and years. I don't know what made it go crazy, but of course it has to go crazy at the, right now, because that's just the way life is. I think I just kind of like it like that. And then I'm going to take some paint and a plate. I need a plate. Sorry, I didn't really prepare this part. I didn't think ahead far enough. I was just trying to get stuff printed out so that I could, show you those two Digis, Denise's and mine. So I didn't have a chance to get much else done. I'm just stealing some of my water out of my water cup to put in a cup. This is just white acrylic paint, nothing fancy. And then I also added some gold when I did it on my Digi. It's kind of hard to tell that it was gold because it kind of just ended up blending and looking a little bit like, what do you call it? just like a old book color, you know. But you can see I was busily working. So you just take some of the white, a little bit of gold, maybe a little water if you want, if you feel like your paint's not thin enough. I'm just, you know, doing this kind of thing. And I get it, so hopefully there's no fuzz. And then I just was doing quickly. And that way you're kind of covering up some of the text, you know, so it's not like totally readable. And I probably will mess this all up and it won't work at all on here, of course. But I had a blast playing with that this weekend. In fact, that's what I was kind of doing before I had to go over to that party. So I really didn't want to go to begin with because that's just the way I am when I get working. I just want to keep going. And so that was a bummer, but stuck. And I kind of try to keep it going this way or up and down, one of the two. Like, it doesn't work great to, like, you know, go all different directions. It just works better to go one, and I better move those before I get paint all over them. I kind of like the gold though, just kind of going however. Okay. And I'll let that one dry. I got a little on the front, but I can just kind of wipe it off, and I'm not that worried about it. And it did soak a little bit through there, so we'll see how that turns out. But anyway, it's just kind of a fun, whoa, son. It's kind of a fun way to make it so you can write on that, you know? So I'm going to set this over here out of the way. Maybe we can do one more like that, just so I don't have, you know, not very many like that. Most of them I've already done with ink, so. Move this for now. And we'll just take some other bits of paper and put them on here. It would probably make more sense to, like, get a bunch, glue some stuff on them, and then paint them all. But, you know, I'm impatient and I have to see results, like, quickly, so I don't do that well. Instead, I make more work for myself by going back and forth, but that's just kind of the way I am, so. This is just a little teeny dictionary that I have. So this is kind of what I did when I did my Digi, except that I collaged pretty much the whole page. I mean, I did leave some blank spots, but not very many. And in this, obviously, we're leaving more blank spots for, you know, writing and that type of thing. Sasha, don't walk on that, babe. He's, of course, up on the table seeing what I just put down. This is just some blue from something I found on New York Public Library, so use that. It's like an old recipe, or not recipe, but menu kind of a thing from some party or something. I don't know. I can find the craziest things on New York Public Library. Sometimes I just search like colors, like I had just put in blue just to see what comes up. And that's what came up. So, trying to think what I want to use. Maybe another piece of music up top. So that's a fun way to do a Digi. And then my son just, you know, puts it on Photoshop. Oh, I don't really want that like that. Oh, well, it's just going to be there. Puts it on Photoshop and sizes it. Pasha, would you get out of the bag? Get out of there. That was the only thing that was good about him being sick, is he was not into everything, which I know that sounds horrible, but sometimes it's kind of nice not to have to pull him out of everything all the time. He's just kind of a little nut. He really is like having a toddler around in many ways. So, anyway. I mean, it was horrible that he felt so miserable, but there was one bright light, and that was that he wasn't into everything and getting into trouble all the time. And he's an older cat. He's not like a kitten or something, which amazes me, because he kind of is ridiculous at times. I don't think I'm using more of that. He's just always into stuff. And he likes to lick plastic, and I don't know why he does that, but he does. This is just some stuff from, and drives the other cat crazy. That's what he's doing now. That's why she's hissing at him, because he's a pest. Oh, here's a little bit of avocado dye. That would be fun. Let's see. It's like dust, like something comes off of that. It must be from putting it in the avocado dye or something. That's kind of cool. Or just an old book, but. Okay, so that's all I'm going to put on there. And you might think this is totally weird, but I don't know. I think it's kind of a fun way to have a little something on these plain white pages. So, and there are loads of other, I mean, you can just paint on there too, which looks cool. Can see how good. Thought for a minute I'm probably too low down. The paint just kind of makes a neat surface to write onto, I think. And it's not very thick at all, so. Alright, there's that one. Okay, so I'm going to put that aside, and I think I will probably let you guys go, because those are my little ideas for the day. And I have a million things that I need to go do. So this may be sort of a slow process just because we're really heading into Christmas season, so I apologize if I'm not around as much, but I noticed too that people aren't watching as much, and I get it, believe me. So yeah, so I'll just keep kind of trucking away at it and doing videos here and there. I mean, I'm going to try again to keep on 3 this week, but next week I'm not making any promises about. So yeah, so I'll just keep doing some stuff for Denise's lovely little winter Digi here. So, and I will link her so that you can go check that out. But I think that's going to be a pretty little book. So anyway, I hope you guys have an awesome evening. If you like my videos, please like and subscribe. And I thank you all so much for your support. You guys are, like I said, always amazing and very kind and generous and just wonderful people. So we'll chat later. Bye-bye now.